Hello, happy Easter. So my niece has requested I show her how to make bread. Here is all my supplies. I tried to get them out beforehand. So I'm going to go ahead and start. And of course I'll be pausing during long moments. So what I have is 4 cups of flour I put aside. Here we have 1 cup of milk and half a cup of water, and I'm going to be adding 4 tablespoons of butter. So let me go get a spatula. Hold on. So I'm going to be adding 4 tablespoons of butter, and then I'm going to put that in the microwave. And you microwave it on high at 15-minute increments because you don't want to get it too hot. Now I'm just doing 4 tablespoons of butter. That's 3. And I'm going to put that in the microwave, like I said. You want to do it on 15-minute increments. I have a crappy microwave, so I'm going to do it on 30-minute increment or 30-second increments. While I do that, I'm going to go ahead and combine the flour, sugar, yeast, and salt. What I use is this. It's instant yeast. It's so much easier than using active yeast because you don't have to worry about killing the yeast and making your bread not work. So I'm going to combine 1.5 cups of flour to start off with. And I will post the recipe in the comments so that way you have them. Let's see, we need 4 tablespoons of sugar. I sometimes add a little bit more sugar to make it a little sweeter, but you want at least 4. And this is a double recipe. Okay, I put in 5. And I used the half, that's why you saw me do it so much. So you want 4.5 teaspoons of yeast. So I'm using the half, and I'm going to put 8.5 of these in. And when you do it, you want to make sure that they are level. You don't want it to be too much. Let's see, 1 teaspoon of salt. mix that up well. I am waiting for the water buttermilk mixture. A little bit longer. You're going to need a towel like this or something similar. It's a very thin towel that you will place over the dough to help it rise. One more time, should be good. And if you're not sure on the temperature of the water milk mixture, you can always use a cooking thermometer. You don't want it to be more than like 120 degrees. So we're going to go ahead and combine the mixture in with our flour that we set aside. And then you're going to beat on high for 2 minutes. I'm using these, if they're for like dough, it's a little bit easier than using the ones that you use for a cake. So go ahead and do that for 2 minutes. It says on high, but my high is really, really fast, so I'm not going to do it on high. Okay, so I paused it for about a minute. All right, now we're going to start adding the remaining flour. So I'm going to add about half a cup. Mix again. We're going to mix it again for about another 2 minutes. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to take your spatula and you're going to bring it around the edges of the bowl to get all the flour off. And just go ahead and keep adding flour until your mix is going to ball, which I will show you what it looks like when mine is done. Sorry about that. Now what I do, because it starts to get a little thick, and they didn't have mixers back in the, 1800s. So what I do is I'm going to combine the rest. If you see, there's still flour in there, but it's still a little sticky. So you need to mix the rest of the flour in that. Go ahead and put a little bit of flour on your surface, table, counter, whatever you're working on. And it'll look like, let me just move the camera, hold on one second. So you can see what I'm doing. You see the floured surface? You're going to take your dough and you're going to mix in the flour that's in there. And what I'm doing in the bowl, I'll show you on the table. It's hard for me to show you in the bowl at the time. But you want to get the rest of the flour in the mixture. Scrape the side of the bowl. Make sure you get all the dough and flour up. Alright, so you're going to place your dough down on your surface. I'm going to add a little bit more flour because it's still a little sticky. And so you just sprinkle some on there. And this is what you do. You roll and knead. Roll and knead. And you're going to do this for about 6 to 8 minutes. And unfortunately, you're going to have to watch me because I'm not touching the phone with my dirty hands. And you'll feel that it's still a little sticky. Add a little bit more flour, just a little bit at a time, just a little sprinkle. And you may have to flour your surface so that it does not stick to it because it's going to soak up that flour as well. so when you're done kneading, what you're going to do is you're going to take 2 fingers, or, you know, whatever. They recommend 2 fingers. You can use 1. Press in, and then, so I'll do it on the side so you see, press in, and you see how it springs back. That's when you know your dough is done. You're going to go ahead and place it back in the bowl. And then the towel that I told you need, you place that right on top and place it on in a warm area. I put mine on top of the stove, but the stove's not on. You're going to let it sit for about 10 minutes. Once it's sat, it will rise. So here's what it looks like in the bowl. And I'll take a before picture and an after picture so you can see how big it rises. And then I'm making big ones instead of 48 little ones. I'm going to make 12 big ones in a cake pan here. And you want to grease the bottom and sides of the pan. And I'll show you pictures on how to, what it's supposed to look like before and after as well. Also, I would show you how to do it, but it's basically when you take your dough, you're just going to pull off pieces, and you'll pull off pieces and round them, but I'm not going to put that part on the video. If you need to see a video of that, I can make one at another time, but that's just really kind of self-explanatory. So I hope this helps, and thank you for watching.